Hello, this is Catherine Dubberly, the Answer Lady. I'm a big fan of Kiss Looms. I greatly enjoy mine, and I am cooperating with Kelly at Kiss Looms to make you a playlist of all the basic techniques that you might ever want to know on all of the looms. So welcome and enjoy.
Let's do a central double decrease. I am going to move this stitch over to the next peg and the one on the other side of it over in the opposite direction. So now there are 3 stitches on this central peg. Central because it's in the middle of the work, that's all that means. Double decrease because we're decreasing from both sides. Wrapping this empty peg is like a yarn over in hand knitting. And when I knit off the 3 stitches that are now on the central peg, it'll be similar to a knit 2 together, but it has to be called something different because we have added stitches from both sides, thus the term central double decrease. Now here is the new wrap. We need to knit over all 3 of the others, and I find it best to do them one at a time, at least with this yarn, and that's the 3rd one. This yarn over and this yarn over, we can't actually knit any stitches this row because there's only one wrap, so we won't worry about it. We'll catch it next row. And it's time to wrap and knit this row. And while we do that, you watch and listen, and I'll tell you why you would need a central double decrease. One reason is the reason that I'm using it for, and I will show you in a moment. I'm making lace, and this is going to make lace eyelets on either side of a twisted looking ridge up the center where we transfer the stitches to the peg that makes that twisty ridge. Actually, the center doesn't really look twisted. It's a nice clear column, but the other strands of yarn twist on their way up to the center. And there will be eyelets on each side, so that's the lace. And that is a common use in patterns. An alternate use would be if we really wanted to make the piece smaller and we wanted to do so from both sides. Here's what I'm coming out with. Here it is from the right side. Usually the knit side is the right side for lace. Now, let's do another one. It's time anyway for my lace. But what if we were decreasing on both sides of the work, trying to make it smaller? I'm going to pretend that's what we're doing. We would move all the stitches in to take up that space, and we would do what I'm doing here on both sides. I'm not going to do it on both sides because it's counterproductive since I'm knitting lace, so back we go. But we would eventually get zigzagged edges. Most of the time, if you do this to decrease, you go in and then out again, making zigzag edges, although a designer could choose to use it for any reason. So in the second case, the one that I'm not knitting, where we're really decreasing the width of the fabric, you get rid of the eyelets. There aren't any eyelets. There is, however, a central ridge where 3 stitches knit off at once. Here's the row after the decrease. It's pretty ordinary until you get to this area where you've got 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Can't knit that, couldn't knit that. And here we go. So that's the central double decrease. There's how it's developing. Before I go, I'd like to point out to you that if you have a graph in your pattern, it may look like this, meaning that an eyelet is formed here, an eyelet is formed here, those stitches moved together to this stitch or peg.